For Porsche in Australia, there is one event that stands alone. It's an event that typifies Porsche's attitude towards how its cars should be used. Drive them to and from work during the week, and on the weekend, take them racing. That event is the Targa Tasmania. There is nothing quite like the Targa Tasmania. In one event, on the same roads, on the same day, you have pre-war race cars, 60s icons like the Mini, muscle cars from the last 30 years, and sports cars bristling with the latest high technology. But most importantly, you have closed Tasmanian roads that allow drivers to push themselves and their machinery to the limit.
It's a race for 6 or 5 days, whichever the year is, and each day you have up to 9 races, and each one's on a different track. So you've got some 50 races in 6 days. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. If you enjoy driving cars fast, it's the ultimate event.
Targa Tasmania, no one is more respected than 4-time winner Jim Richards, back this year in the car that is considered the Porsche flagship, the 911 Turbo. As well as competition from a fleet of Porsches of all varieties, he also had to deal with the likes of Dodge Vipers, Chevrolet Corvettes, Nissan GTRs, a Lexus IS200, and a couple of interesting celebrity entrants. There was former British motorcycle star Barry Sheene in a Mercedes 4-wheel drive, Australian motorcycle ace Mick Dooran in a very expensive Mercedes CLK 55, and Bathurst hero Peter Brock in, of all things, a Holden utility, number 05, of course.
Well, it was getting a bit of wheel spin, but it was sort of like the diff wasn't sort of locking up properly. Yeah. But it was getting good traction, basically. I mean, don't you reckon, James?
Yeah. What's this thing with ABS?
Yeah. Yeah. Naturally, it's a Holden SS.
Oh, you be going. It's like a bloody Holden commercial, isn't it?
Right from the very start, it was obvious that if you were going to win this year's Targa, you had to beat that man Richards. At the end of the first day, he established a 26-second lead over fellow Porsche Turbo driver, 1999 champion Peter FITZGERALO. They were closely pursued by the Porsche GT3 of first-timer Tony Quinn, and the Dodge Viper of Andrew Madecki, and Ray Lintott in another Porsche Turbo. For many, day one in Targa Tasmania is the day to find your feet and start to get on the pace. That was very much the case for Mick Dooran, whose confidence was growing as each stage went by. He even managed to outdo the venerable Peter Brock, just 6 seconds slower than the pace-setter Richards on one stage.
Yeah, I think the hay bale come loose in the back of the ute.
Exactly. I look, honestly, I'm past it.
The big surprise of the event was the excellent showing by local driver Jason White in an 11-year-old Nissan 300ZX. Showing some very rapid pace, he and his brother John moved up into 4th place.
In this type of car, I'm sure it's upsetting quite a few people, but that's what we're here for. We like to stir them up, so we have to try pretty hard though to get where we are. So no, it's good fun though.
Day 3, there were several major retirements. First out was the 1994 winner, Andrew Madecki, in his Viper, a damaged engine balance shaft ending his charge. Then Gary Burchett and Peter Moore went out after an altercation with a tree in their Nissan GTR. But the retirement that created the most interest was first spotted from the onboard camera in Jim Richards' car. The upside-down smoking wreck of Mick Dooran's no longer valuable Mercedes.
One of the left-handers there, and I just ran in a little bit too quick, and it started pushing the front. And with my experience, I couldn't get it back to stay on the road. But there was a big rock sticking out of the embankment, and the front took a liking to that, or the front wheel took a liking to that, and just spun us off up in the air and over. And it was just one of those things. Made a mistake, put it on its ear, and the race is over.
Peter Fitzgerald also had problems with a blown clutch, which cost him any chance of a podium place. Day 4, the longest and most important day, saw the emergence of a new contender, Victorian Craig Dean in Toyota Supra. On many stages, he was second fastest, and on one, he even managed to gain 6 seconds on Jim Richards, moving up into third place. The front-runner for the first time was looking mortal. Tyre wear was costing him dearly. Competitors were penalised 1 minute for every new tyre, and the fast dry conditions meant Richards had to replace 2, whittling his lead down to just 15 seconds over Tony Quinn.
You don't get the extra performance that we're getting out of the car on the roads without something, taking away something, and that's rubber. And so we had to put 2 new tyres on.
Peter Brock was also suffering mechanical problems on the winding roads out of Queenstown, ending his Targa.
When you go through a lot of switchback roads, and I guess at racing speeds, you are using the power steering enormously, and it boiled the fluid in the power steering, which caused the pump to fail.
After days of perfect weather conditions, the competitors had to deal with a new challenge. The treacherous conditions forced Jim Richards to change another tyre, handing the lead to Tony Quinn for the first time. The difference, just 4 seconds. For the next 4 stages, the 2 competitors went toe-to-toe, not losing time on any stage until fate intervened.
I started off really hot, and we hit a curb and blistered the tyre.
The tyre change cost Quinn the lead and gave Richards a comfortable buffer. One to take advantage of the wet was the experienced rally driver Neil Bates in his Lexus, closing fast on third.
We were second fastest overall today to Jim. We took a little bit of time off Craig Dean and off Tony Quinn, and we're going to be very happy with that.
On the final day, the top position seemed settled as Tony Quinn backed off the pace, seemingly happy with second.
I'm happy to be second. I'm delighted. I'm happy to be the second man to Jim Richards.
Craig Dean was hanging on to third, fending off the challenge from Neil Bates. But the real flyer was the turbo Porsche of 1999 winner Peter Fitzgerald, back on the pace with a new clutch, second fastest on the road. He was set to move up the classifications until this.
Surprising thing is, I didn't really think I was carrying a lot of speed into that turn, and I turned it in and it just wouldn't turn in. Just didn't respond to the steering effort. I mean, my aim today was just to bring it home, put in some good times, which we were doing, and we weren't really scaring ourselves doing them. To end it like this way just sort of tops off our whole Targa, I guess.
The only thing left for Targa 2001 was a celebration. For Jim Richards, victory number 5. Also on the podium, the Targa debutant Tony Quinn and the Victorian Supra driver Craig Dean. Neil Bates finished 4th in his Lexus, while Ray Lintott finished 5th in another Porsche Turbo.